Hey everyone, how's it going? I'm going to do a series now where I'm going to cast some of the games I played. So recently I just started playing some 1v1s again. I've been playing some Arabia Huns Wars just to practice. And I got to 1702, I think 1702 will show my rating there. And I figured, I might as well play a bit, try to get to 1800, and then after I play the games, I'll come back and cast the Rex. So there's about 5 Rex I want to cast today. I will speed this up, and I'm playing, all these games are going to be some Arabia Huns Wars because I think it's good just like when you're learning to practice, pick one thing, focus on it, try to practice and get better at it. So most of these games I'll be going Scouts. I think that's, when you're getting better, probably one of the best builds you can do, just because the Dark Age is, I think, one of the easiest Dark Ages. And there's a lot of ways that you can adapt the build once you get into the Feudal Age, and it really helps to help learn about how to make different decisions as the game goes on. Yeah, so I'll just kind of speed this up a bit as we go through the Dark Age. It's just going to be pretty much your standard build where you put 6 on sheep, 3 on wood, hunt the boar, put a 7th villager on the sheep. You do it with the Huns because since you don't build houses, you start with less wood, so you're not quite going to be able to put the mill on the berries right away, so you need to put one more under the TC first before you can start building the mill. And then also put 2 on berries, and then after that hunt the next boar, which, where is my next boar even on this map? I know I found it in the game, but let's see where the villager goes. Oh, it's all the way back there. Alright. And yeah, so here the boar, I see there's a little downhill there and it's kind of far away. So I brought the sheep into position just to block it off. And yeah, just bump the boar a bit so the villager stays alive. Not the best position, but okay, it's under the TC. And yeah, then I just go put 4 on berries. I go put another villager on the boar. Yeah, and then when I have 18 pop, I start sending over to wood again. That bill's not chopping the right tree. Oh, and then I'll send villagers to wood till I get to 22 pop. I'll build a second lumber camp, split them up between the 2 lumber camps, do loom till I get that 500 food and click up. And then once I click up, I'll move villagers over to the wood so that I have 5 on each lumber camp for a total of 10. Then 4 on the berries, 2 farms with the injured villagers, and the rest I'll have 5 on sheep once I click up. And then doing loom right now. When you're doing this build, the best possible time you can get up is 10 minutes and 5 seconds. So we'll see how I do there. And as we see this first game, I'm 1702, my opponent 1697. So ratings are pretty close. And we'll see the Dark Age scouting, because one of the most important things you can do is learn how to scout better in the Dark Age. So I think when I saw that relic here, I probably should have known that I could have turned the scout and gone this way instead of going all the way over until finding that cliff, because generally when you see the relics, you know that your opponents are kind of far away from them because relics don't spawn in their base. And with this scout, I really want to be finding out what my opponent is doing. I see that he's making the barracks and also that he's not taking gold, so it's pretty safe to assume he's going scouts at this point. Ooh, he has a lot of idle time under that TC. Looks like he's trying to wall off but didn't pay attention to those villagers. And he's putting down more farms. And he doesn't have the wood for the stable yet. So, and it looks like a pretty big mistake in his build. He hasn't built the stable and he's putting all those farms already. Maybe he didn't find his resources or something. I don't know. But anyway, we see I already have the stable out and I see his scouts already lost a bit of HP. I might have attacked it earlier. But here I built the stable. As soon as I get up to Feudal Age, I do the wood cutting and the farm upgrades, and then I add farms around the TC until I get, 12 to 16 is only the number you go for. And then you start going, generally you would start going to gold at that point. That depends heavily on the build though, but generally scouts into archers you would go for gold around, say, 13 minutes or so. But I see that he's pretty walled at this point. And he also only has 1 lumber camp. And we see that those villagers are kind of getting stuck. That's why it probably would have been nice to have like a lumber camp here and here, or maybe one out here, but that's kind of far forward. And we'll see what I'm able to do. So I have these scouts here. I'm able to pick off that scout and just gotta be careful that I don't fight the spears. Since the stable's up late, I have a lot more scouts. So the spears are keeping me away. But since he doesn't have scouts, he has to invest a lot into spears, and that's a big investment into spears since they can't really fight you and they're just going to be playing really defensive. Whereas if you have scouts, you can both fight my scouts and then try to harass over villagers or something. Because, well, I'm not walled here other than that little wall there. Probably should have just walled down here to this cliff again. That's not the greatest scouting by me. I was one tile away from the edge of the map. Should realize that was closed. But just running away, trying to make sure that I don't lose my scouts unnecessarily. Probably didn't need to move my scouts over to this part of the map, but I guess these cliffs are kind of awkward there, and I'm just trying to position them. Don't fight the spears. It's me. There you go. I didn't pay attention to the scouts there. That's something I gotta get better with, just knowing when to switch between the scouts and back to the economy. But now I'm going to gold. I'm putting down these archery ranges, blacksmith. I see that he has a lot of spears out, so I want the archers to try to deal with them. And also I have the quite a few scouts out still. Oh, well, it's not that many. I only have 4. So I'm not going to do bloodlines before I click up. I'm just going to leave those scouts how they are. And see, he still only has 2 scouts. So I think this is just he doesn't have the build down for scouts, or maybe he forgot that he didn't build a stable and added the farms first. But you really have to add that stable first, otherwise you're not going to have the wood. And I sent my scouts forward just to kind of see what's going on. And I see that he has these scouts here, and I'm going to ungarrison the archers, I think. So I kind of hear that attack notification at least, just to deal with the scouts. Maybe I'll wait for that archer to finish. And yeah, there you go. And just kill his 2 scouts there. Well, that one's going to run away, but no big deal. I'll do some damage on that stable as he's putting up a watchtower, so I might need to run away there. But he's, well, I guess fairly safe at this point because he's pretty much fully walled, so I'm not going to be able to do too much damage with the scouts. And I see that he doesn't have a large army, so I know that it's safe to start trying to click up to Castle Age now. And that's just trying to read that I see his army, and I don't know if he still has a scout somewhere, but yeah, if I check the scout, I see that he doesn't have bloodlines and he doesn't have the upgrades, and I don't see any archery ranges for him, so I figure it's safe to go up even if I have a small army. And since I don't see any army from him, I'm going to send my archers forward. Again, this is kind of a very dangerous thing to do because I have no army at home defending. If he were to come in with a bunch of scouts right now, he could do a ton of damage. Like if he had sneakily built a second stable or something in the back. But just from the scouting information, I can see there's no upgrades on the scout, and that he invested a lot into spearmen, so he probably doesn't have that army. So I send the archers forward, just try to get a bit of harassment on that wood line with the fletching, and just get in there, force those villagers away. And it seems like it's pretty devastating to him because he doesn't really have a second wood line. And we see pretty similar Castle Age times, but I was able to do that while making a much larger number of scouts throughout the feudal age than he was. And I think it just comes down to economy. If we check the achievements real quick, economy, yeah, we see that I've collected about 400 more food and 600 more wood and 300 more gold at this point. So even though we're up at the same time, I was able to spend that a bit more efficiently and just have more control of the map with this army here. Hopefully I'll be able to pick off his scout, and losing the scout can be huge. And now I've added in a 3rd range. I'm kind of quick, so I'm only going 3 ranges. Huns, you can kind of go either 3 or 4, and I really want to use those archers to pick off the spearmen. And then, of course, his name starts with 24, so we're going to hear the dadgum taunt every time he ages up. And now I see that he's fully walled and that I'm not going to be able to do much damage, so I do crossbowman and bodkin arrow right away, just so that I can at least get to this wood line a bit better. But other than that, I still have a lot of crossbowmen here, so it's probably going to be a pretty worthwhile upgrade. Instead of adding in a whole bunch of cav archers, I think pretty soon I'm going to be adding TCs. Yeah, this one back here on the gold. I'm also going to wall back here to keep that safe. And another TC on the wood line. So when you get to the castle age, there's a bunch of different decisions you can make. You can decide how many archery ranges do you want to make cav archers from, 3 or 4. You can also decide to go for knights, but I think generally cav archers is the better choice. And then you decide how quickly do you need to do your upgrades. If you're going to fight right away, you could even do a very fast thumb ring. You could also take some villagers, put down a very fast university, do an early ballistics. And we see we're getting into a bit of a fight here, and I see that he's going knights. So I figure I'll lose these crossbows eventually, but my main army still is back here, and I'm going to hear that every time he buys wood too. Okay. So yeah, going to keep the army back here, just try to defend. That crossbowman just dies. And let's see, he's putting up a siege workshop. So yeah, I see that. So I've seen that he's putting up a siege workshop. So think about it, siege workshop is about 200 wood, same as university, and each TC is 275 wood. So when I see he's putting up the siege workshop and then later making a mangonel to deal with the crossbows, I know that I'm going to be really far ahead because I immediately put down 2 town centers, whereas he made a siege workshop and is now, I think, well, he's going to be investing into a mangonel. And the other thing, I do husbandry because I see that he has knights and he's selling a lot of wood, but because I see that he's making knights and I want my cav archers to be faster than the knights so that I can hit and run away from them and the knights aren't going to catch up to the cav archers. That's like, I think that's really important for both sides in this engagement when you go knights versus cav archers to invest in the husbandry. So I do that even here before I put down the university and go for ballistics. And yeah, not walled down here, which is not the best by me. I really need to kind of work on where I'm walling. I don't have the best. I've noticed that I'm not putting down walls in good locations, but now that I have my economy going a bit, we see that I'm ahead in villagers, and I've had a lot more resources, so I'm able to make more military. Let's check these achievements again. And yeah, we see I'm still pretty far ahead in the economy, especially in the wood. Well, I guess that makes sense though, because I'm going for cav archers and he's going for knights, but he still does need wood for farms. And so knights, yeah, generally you want to do husbandry and at some point add in a monastery so that you can add in some monks to fight against the knights. And let's just speed this up a bit more. And we see, yeah, how he had that mangonel there. It did clean up the crossbows, but again, had done some harassment on that wood line, did force him to make a mangonel. And he's making a town center on the front by that gold. I guess that's a pretty good location, but again, since he made that siege workshop in mangonel, he's only on 2 town centers. And at this point, I'm just really far ahead, and that score lead is just going to get bigger as I'm able to just take advantage of this villager lead and the fact that my economy has already been working for so much longer. And I do have a university. I do have ballistics, going to add in some cav archers and see what I can do to pressure him. And here, I'm not paying attention to my army here, and that really isn't good. I should have just pulled back once I saw them there. I don't know. And now he's buying food. I guess he didn't want to engage there with the knights. He doesn't have +2. That's something I should have checked. I didn't check the upgrades. He doesn't have +2, but I'm doing thumb ring now, and now he's doing husbandry, so he'll be able to catch me again. But I'm trying to raid with the cav archers. The danger is, you see I have my crossbowmen patrolling here. The danger is if I move out with the cav archers and I don't know where his knights are. And here, this is, I definitely could have paid a better attention to my army there. And now he's kind of surrounding me. And he's going to wall off here. That's a pretty good play by him. I still have enough cav archers here. I decide, well, I can just fight it and it'll be okay. I'll take some losses here, but at least take some knights down too. And I'm just going to run away. So that's a really bad fight by me, kind of throwing away the lead that I had. That's just comes from very slightly not paying attention to your army here, and then you end up throwing all of it away. That really doesn't matter because I have such a big lead at this point, but game really should be over right now if I have all of my army together. Now he kills that army and he still has enough knights that he can fight my cav archers here. Still doesn't have +2, but I can just add in more archery rangers and continue spamming cav archers. So we see these caught up in villages. I wonder. Let's see, he is still 1, 2, 3 TCs. I must have idled my TCs at some point and stopped making villagers, which is bad because I have a large amount of food. And we see some I'm going for cav archers this game. I'm spending a lot of gold, but I also really don't have enough villagers on gold compared to like food and wood. So I think, yeah, I'm making a market because I know I'm going to need to sell resources to click up. Do I have a monastery yet? No. Oh, I do have a monastery right there. Yeah, so I'm going to add in some monks to collect the relics and to help against his knights. So yeah, so again, this part pretty far over just because of, that early game probably had a slightly better Dark Age, but I had the stable up, whereas he went for farms first before the stable, so I was able to win in Feudal Age. And when we got up to the Castle Age, I went for the town centers first. He went for the Siege Workshop Mangonel, so I had a stronger economy, and now I just have a stronger army that I'll be able to push in with. And he's trying to run his knights away. That's the only real thing I need to worry about is this section here, if the knights run in and my army's out of position. But at this point, I think we just speed it up right now. The game's pretty much over. I'm just going to do heavy cav archer and end up winning from there. I think the main part we've already seen. Now I'm just going to kill a bunch of villagers. He's trying to stonewall. That's what he has to do here, but just not quite going to be able to come back. That cliff, God, those taunts. That cliff just not in a great position for the cav archers to run around, but I'm going to sneak that relic out of there. Here he brings his cavalry into my base, but I have the halberdier ready to come out. I'll just garrison the villagers. He'll do some damage, but I have cav archers in his base doing more damage. Sneak them behind that gold mine. He does the right thing and deletes the gold mine, but doesn't matter. I clean up his cavalry in my base, kill him, and yeah, that just... It's amazing what that small difference in the Feudal Age can do to change the entire game. Just because I had a few more scouts out, forced him back here, forced him to take all this time walling, and got some harassment on that wood line. Had a much better economy. Anyway, let's go. There's 5 games I want to get through, so I'm going to get through them pretty quick. Let's go into game 2. When the overlay is not up. Sometimes when you load a game, the overlay doesn't come up. Okay. So here, next we have is Starflower with the interesting spelling of flower. And this is an interesting game because the other game we saw we both went for scouts, and we're going to see blue in this game. Now I went for 1718 and he's 1709, so slightly higher than my last opponent, but see, he's going to go for a Drush Fast Castle, which not for a Drush Fast Castle, for a Drush Flush. So he's going to go for pretty standard 3 militia Drush, 2 archery ranges, and make archers. And I'm going to have to defend against that. And it's really important that I scout that. Now on this map, I think I had trouble finding my sheep or something. Yeah, on this map I wasn't able to find my sheep quickly. And where are they? If I go, they're out here. And I don't find those sheep forever because they're so far away and I scout right next to them and I don't find them. So I'm going to need to push in some deer at some point. But this early Dark Age scouting, that small mistake, not scouting far enough away there, probably should have had my scout this entire area down here, then come around, would have picked up those sheep then, but I guess that is just something I noticed in hindsight. As I'm doing the same build, bringing in the boar, adding that 7th villager to the sheep while the boar comes in. Going to the berries. Yeah, not much else going on. Putting up a mill. Second boar is going to be out there. But if you look at my scouting, it's about 4:30, and my scout is still going around my base looking for my sheep because I haven't found them. And I do see that I have these deer here, and later on I'm going to push those deer in because I don't find the sheep. Ooh, he's doing loom. I guess he was afraid of that downhill, but he really wasn't enough distance, I think, to justify doing Loom there. I don't think he had to do it there. A bit of idle time there that I didn't need. And now, ooh, is he gonna find my sheep? He might. And nope, he does not find my sheep. Lucky for me. But yeah, here I am pushing in the deer. But now, here we have a huge difference in the game. If we check his point of view, he's scouting me right now. He'll know I'm there because he sees the two straggler trees, so he'll know my TC's right there. And now he definitely knows I'm there because he sees the stone. And there's my lumber camp. And I managed to get one hit on him with the villager, which is nice because now my scout should win the scout fight if we get into a scout fight. Something you got to be very careful if you go by lumber camps. But yeah, so he knows where I am. He can see pretty much that I'm going scouts at this point. And the thing is, I have no idea where he is. I have no idea what he's doing. And I have no idea that this drush is coming in. So I'm up to feudal 10-14. That's okay. I would like to be closer down to about 10-10, but I'm fine with that. Going to put up barracks. And the thing is, I'm not going to see this drush coming in until it's like right there. And I'm not going to be able to quick wall those villagers in time. They're going to have to run. But the rest of my villagers are going to be safe. And I'm not going to lose a villager there. So I'll get these walls up here. I just need one piece of wall there. And luckily for me, that wood line was pretty easy to wall. The great thing is I kept the lumber camps right next to each other, so I was able to wall between them. And then this little one tile gap might make the lumber camp look inefficient, but I was able to wall there. This villager, of course, isn't working, so he goes back with his drush onto that hill. Not sure what he's trying to do there. Probably would have been better maybe to try to attack one of these walls or to go over and find the berries. Did he find my berries? No, but yeah, I guess he doesn't know if the berries... He knows they're in this location somewhere, but that's a big unscattered area. So instead of going for the berries, he just kind of camps that hill. And that's unfortunate for him, because now his drush isn't doing much damage, and I can start building up scouts. And have I found him yet? No, I haven't found him yet, but from exploring over here, I see there's a relic there, so he's not in this corner. There's an extra gold there, so he's not over here. So I'm pretty much certain that he has to be over here at this point. And already he's putting up 2 ranges, and I have a couple scouts getting out another scout, adding in farms, same as before. These villagers going idle. Should have deleted this palisade by now. And now I have those scouts there, and also with the spearman, I figure it's time to engage the drush, making another scout, and we'll make sure that the spearman gets some hits on the scout, because the scout's the thing I really want to take out. But now we'll take out the militia. That's definitely something I like doing when you're versus the drush, just making that extra spearman. And just was being nice and defensive with the scouts, not trying to be too aggressive, just keep him around until I clean up the drush, use the walls to defend my villagers until I can get the scouts out and then clean it up. So now here's the tricky part, is that we saw him building those ranges a lot earlier, so he has archers out a lot sooner than I do. I know that I need to make skirmishers, and I guess this is something I'm not quite sure about. I think when I'm making skirmishers, I like to maybe not make this many farms, because if we see I have like 10 farms already, but I don't have an archery range yet, and I could even start making that now. But since he is going archers, because he isn't, saw a bit of idle time there where he wasn't queuing the archers. And I'm going to scout that out now. But I know that since he's going archers, I'm going to need to add in skirmishers. We're still even on villagers, but I have a bit of a score lead. Let's check the achievements real quick, see the economy. Yeah, I think still pretty close in economy. I have more food, but he spent his time getting gold, which makes sense because he's going for archers and I'm going to go for skirmishers. The thing is, you don't want to go scouts then into archers most of the time when he's drushing, because he'll make the archery ranges and start having more archers out sooner. So he'll have more archers than you will if you just try to make archers to match him. And he'll always have more numbers. Unless you have some great micro, he's probably going to be winning all the fights. Now here I'm putting up an archery range. Again, I probably could have done that a lot earlier. I'm moving villagers to gold. I do that, I think, mostly because I'm going to want to get bloodlines. And since I saw those ranges, I knew I was going to need to invest in scouts to fight more in feudal. And again, he's not walled, so scouts could do a lot of damage. I don't really know that though, other than seeing those ranges on the front. And he's sending his army forward. And this time, at least I am paying attention to my scouts, so I decide I'm going to get back. And I'm just going to start adding in some skirmishers. The thing right here is I don't have a blacksmith, so I don't have the fletching I need to engage this. And I really don't want to engage there just because he has those 2 spearmen. They can do so much damage to my scouts if I'm careless. His problem right now is he doesn't have his army near his archery ranges. I can just kind of camp by my archery ranges where these skirmishers are and wait till he comes in. But again, this is also nice for him. He has the blacksmith already doing padded archer armor, putting a tower on his gold so I can't harass it, has some spearmen by his wood. So he knows he's pretty safe right now. He's safe for my scouts because of all those spearmen, and his gold's also safe. But here, gets his army out of position and he's going to lose it needlessly. I have my skirmishers ready, even without fletching. And I'm just going to chase him down. And mostly I want my skirms. Oop, yeah, and his spears. Can we pick off a couple spears? No. So I know I can fight this with my skirmishers. I'm going to send my scouts out to see what they can harass. And let's see how I've done fletching. Yeah, finally I've done fletching. And now I see, since he's gone so heavy into archers, I already have a lot of skirms. At this point, I can start adding some archers of my own. And now here, I have the scouts and the skirmishers in position just to engage here. We're at the scouts from behind. He has a lot of spearmen, but they weren't in position to fight the scouts. And I just need to keep the scouts away from them, fight the spearmen with the skirmishers, and pretty much just win that fight easily. He's bringing scouts around the back to deal with the skirmishers, but I can deal with them with my scouts as long as I keep them away from the spears now. He's down to only 1 spear, and I'll focus that with the skirmishers as I try to clean up the rest of the scouts with my scouts. His archers will go hide in that corner, but not going to do much because I have skirmishers there, and there he's calling the GG. So that game, mostly, I could have been really hurt by my not finding my sheep, and that just goes to show what the importance of scouting is in the Dark Age. I didn't find my sheep, so I didn't see the Drush coming in until it was too late. He did do a bit of damage on my lumber camp, but I quick walled in time, wasn't able to let him in anywhere else, and thankfully he didn't scout the rest of my base, didn't go for the berries, and just kind of stopped with the Drush for a minute. And from there, after I knew he was going archers, I just went skirmishers to counter them and was able to win a fight there. The important thing is that I kept investing into my army in the feudal age, so I was able to take that fight. So, right, GG, it's game 2. Let's go to the next one. Alright, game 3. And this guy stayed on and we played another game. Yeah, so let's see, this map, I at least find my sheep pretty quickly at the start. I have a pretty safe berry and two rather safe wood lines. The only thing I don't really like is this forward gold on the hill. And my secondary gold out here. Other gold out here, so I know like later on in the game, I'm gonna have to control this entire front part of my base to control my 2 golds. So that could be a bit difficult, but again, this Dark Age, same thing as before. I'm gonna go scouts again. He's going to go for the Drush archers build again. And we're just gonna speed things up to the Dark Age again as that happens. Just doing the same build. My scouting's a bit better this time. I find all my sheep, and now I can go and scout him. I think he might have kind of stolen my sheep a bit, but just sent them to my TC anyway. So that's I always think that's a nice thing to do when you're just playing games and trying to improve. And now I spot the Drush again. I see he's going for this again. I use my scout just to keep track of the position where the militias are. So, no. I don't get scouting for the rest of his base, but he does bring his scout back, and I know I can run mine away. I don't want to fight here because I know that once I get to the feudal age, my scout will get the +2 attack, and I'll be able to take his scout. So I want to save that HP on the scout. You know, I just wall my berries, and I figure that Since I had put my 2 lumber camps in the back of my base, I just have a couple really easy walls, and now that Drush can't do any damage. So I don't know what he had scouted when he had decided to do that Drush, but this map really isn't vulnerable to being damaged from the Drush. I put the barracks really close to my town center just so that the Drush can't hit it with a villager, and now that I see he's moving over here, I'm going to move my stable on this side of the map just because I want it a bit closer to the gold, but also keep it close to the TC just so that the Drush doesn't harass it, even though I really don't need to worry about it. Probably could have gotten the stable further up on the hill to protect the gold, but it worked out for this game. Want to get the scouts out as fast as I can, but again, get a spearman, because the spearman really can hit that scout and do a lot of damage to it. And start getting out scouts, and we'll see what he's doing. Not up to the feudal age yet. What population do you have? Yeah, he went up on 28 population, getting up around 1130. It's not too bad, but now he sees he can't do any damage, so he's bringing the Drush back. At least save it for later, putting up the archery rangers near his base. I guess he wants them to protect the gold, so maybe that's not the worst location, but maybe being up on this hill would have been better, so he could have protected his wood line, and maybe use a tower or two to protect the gold instead. Because now he can't really attack me with those ranges either, as I'm again doing some damage to his scout. Looks like I'll win that. And now I mostly just want to see what units he's going to be doing to follow up. I'll attack his spearman with my spearman, and I'll lose my spearman there because the villager is fighting. Let's see, I'll try to get some more hits on his scouts, run away from the spearman. I still don't see those ranges though, which is unfortunate for me because I want to know what he's doing, but... And again, I'm adding in lots of farms before I do the ranges, which can cost me if he gets out more army. And then but now I see that gold, and I see there's a chance to do some harassment. No injured villagers there, so I'm just going to fight and run away as well as I can. Try to get an extra couple hits on that scout, and finally kill it. But now finally starting to build ranges on that hill. And if we check out the achievements right now, we see I'm slightly ahead in both those resources, but I haven't taken any gold yet. So still pretty even economy-wise, and now I'm about to do maybe the first harassment, but I don't want to fight that. Yeah, that spear with unupgraded scouts. So let's speed things up a bit as we get a bit of a lull. So 2 archery rangers on the hill, put them here to protect the gold mine. As I'll add a few more scouts, I see that 1, he isn't walled, so I can do damage if I keep going scouts, and 2, that I'm going to need a big feudal army because I saw he was making archers for a long time. So I start adding skirmishers. See, another thing where I think I might be adding too many farms is I can't build the blacksmith yet because I don't have the wood for it. Let me just make sure. Yeah, I don't have one of those. And I see him there. So I'm going to bring my scouts back to fight. The thing that worries me is that spearman, but there's only 1 of them. I'm going to have to run these villagers away, use the skirmishers just to defend them. And now try to take this fight when my scouts get here. And there we are. And I'm going to take out the militia with the scouts. Probably should have gone for the archers first. Not quite sure what I'm thinking there, but maybe I just wanted to protect the skirms. Anyway, should be able to win this now with my skirms firing from the back. A bit inefficient, 2 here, none there. Losing too many scouts there. I do have bloodlines now, but not really the best fight. When he got down to the smaller army, he was just able to fight that pretty effectively, but now that army's gone. We'll keep going up. 2 ranges, making units, doing fletching on them finally. Early fletching definitely would have helped with that 1 more range in that fight. And let's just try to go up. Now I see he has more units as I'm trying to go up, and he's doing the armor upgrade too. I haven't done that yet. Really useful if you have skirms versus archers. I see that I'm a bit low on gold, so I add some more villagers to the gold. You have 18 farmers, which is a lot of farmers. Probably didn't need to add in more. And I don't know where his army is, but I can guess that he's going to be attacking around here because that's where my gold is. And looks like that's exactly what he's going to do. As I'm doing count watch, because I think I just needed to buy myself some time before I click up. Now, since I was in feudal for a long time, I'm going to go straight to 4 ranges. And he has the armor there, so I think he... Oh, so do I. So this will be a pretty even fight. I think I have more skirms, but we'll see how the micro goes. I need to use my scouts, hopefully, to do something effective. And not really, they got a bit of damage there, but I do force him away, and I'm going to put a tower up on that gold just for extra safety. And I think I just try to start mining from that stone just because it's far away. And now he definitely has a larger army, and he could push in, but I have that tower that's going to keep me safe. And I'm making from 4 ranges right here, so I'm okay to fight that. There you go, just keep him under that tower. And now that I have the extra skirmishes from those ranges, I can fight. So powerful to fight underneath your ranges, but I am losing the constant unit queue that I had, because he might have had more archers, but they had to walk all the way across the map. Now he's going for 3 ranges, a stable. He's probably going to go for bloodlines for cav archers. So it looks like we're finally going to get a good Castle Age war where we both go for cav archers. Right, so what happened this game? He went for, again, the Just Flush. Wasn't that effective. I made some archery ranges to defend it. Build probably wasn't the cleanest because the ranges were late. I probably could have gotten away with maybe doing 1 archery range earlier instead of 2 and had the blacksmith up and then had fletching. And had just a similar number of skirmishers because I started making them earlier, but... Well, since I saw he had a lot of skirmishers, I just wanted to add in a knight to deal with them. And again, immediately, he's throwing down that siege workshop. That's what he has to spend on a siege workshop. How am I spending my wood? I'm just making pure cav archers. If you look at the military count, I'm ahead right now, and I'm spending my wood on a university because I want the ballistics from the cav archers. He's chasing my army there. That's fine. I'm going to split my army up and come over here. Force him off of the gold. Going to force a lot of idle time out of him right now. So that's 5 idols, not counting... I don't think that counts the ones that walk, because it's like 7 that are walking right now. So he's doing the scale barding. That's weird. I guess he wants to do knights, maybe? Nope, get back. Don't fight that. And I really need to make sure that I fight that with my skirmishers, because they're the ones who can kill the crossbows. Now he's coming with the knights. Can't really fight them with the skirmishers, but I have enough skirmishers that I can do a bit of damage. But the main thing I'm building up here is my cav archers. With a couple knights, I don't know if they were a good idea or not. Just not doing gold mining. Forgot that earlier. You normally want to do gold mining upgrade while you're advancing from feudal to castle. It's 100 food, so not the most, not necessarily something you want to do in feudal, but later on definitely helps. And I'm just adding some more town centers to try to control the map. Fighting at the top, I probably could fight that because I have elite skirms. The thing I'm worried about is that he would probably have a mangonel behind just because he put up that siege workshop. And we see, I am ahead in villas despite the fact he had 2 town centers. Just because I'm able to do harassment, and now this is key. I see that his army is over here to deal with this, so I know that he's opened here, and I'm going to run away before his army comes back. Just do a tiny bit of damage because I know he's not there, and then run away, and keep pumping out cav archers here. This is the hard part because I know that's a pretty big army of crossbowmen and skirmishers, and I can't really fight that face to face, so I have to keep running around, raiding here and there like I am back here, forcing these knights away. And those are skirmishers, but they're elite skirmishers. They'll do okay. And losing some cav archers there. I think that's just me paying attention up here and not paying attention here and losing some cav archers. So just a bit of sloppy play from me there. More cav archers being queued from the ranges. This one idle, unfortunately. This one double queued. This one double queued. Those 2 are double queued. This one isn't queued, unfortunately. Would like to see all of them queued equally. But the important thing is I do have that stable, so I do have bloodlines on my cav archers. Does he? And I'm still able to harass back here, but he is getting a mangonel out now. Building a market because, yeah, that's his only gold, and he's probably going to want to start selling resources. Mangonel getting some attacks there. I can just keep... I'll try to split what he's repairing it with a villager. This villager repair is so crucial. Even if I do get a kill... Ooh, I could have killed that villager. 1 HP, you get away. And now I see right here, I'm going to group up with the rest of my cav archers and then try to fight that. And I think that was a pretty good fight for me. Could have used the knight earlier to deal with those skirmishers, but yeah. We still see a pretty even KD, but as far as the army composition goes, I'm pretty far ahead. And if we look at the economy, yeah, I'm pretty far ahead in economy too. And at this point, it's, again, pretty much over. Just was able to defend pretty successfully from that flush, take a few good fights with my archers, keep the economy rolling, and then pay attention to the location of his army, where it was located while he was defending. I get some of my army back here. He moves all of his army back here to defend. Then I move some of my army here just to pick off a couple of villagers, and just go back and forth, running his army so he can't defend all places at once, running around. And now again we see the same thing. His cav archers and mangonel is back here. These cav archers can come on this wood line and do some harassment or just stand around and do nothing. Hopefully they do some harassment soon. Which, there you go. And let's see. He has his own cav archers coming in. And I don't think I'm even going to bother with Imperial now. I'm just going to make lots of cav archers, split them up here on the gold, here near his farms, here at Naya's wood. And now he really doesn't have any villagers working in his space. They're all idle under the TCs or garrisoned. And I think this is pretty much going to do it in. See, he's just going to dedicate everything to repairing that mangonel. It was a good decision here because he just barely managed to keep it up. But meanwhile, on the front, I'm winning another fight, have a much larger military, and can pretty much just move in. A bit hesitant because we didn't want to lose those units, but there's the GG. So, game 3. Thought that was a pretty nice example of just defending against the Drush flush. Just realizing how to wall up your base so that you're safe from the Drush and mass up those scouts before you fight it. And then pick, the great thing about the cav archers and scouts into cav archers is that the entire game you can pick whether or not, yes, I want to fight or no, I don't. So I didn't have to fight his army in the feudal age. I was able to keep my army back here near my ranges, build that tower, defend my gold, let him come to me, pick him off, keep track of where he was, and then don't attack till the castle age when I have the mobility of these cav archers. All right, let's do the next game, game 4. And let's see, this is the first game where I actually find my sheep right away. That's good. Getting the overlay up is good, but getting a good start to your Dark Age is good. So here, 1748 to 1722. So I think 1748 is the highest that I had reached while playing these games. So in this game, I know that I'm going to end up losing it, and I want to just go and look at a few of the mistakes I made to see why I ended up losing it. So I think there's a few things that we can notice that even though I had a pretty good start, made some mistakes in the feudal age. So I just really want to speed this up to the Dark Age, get to the next stage, and see what happens. And let's just take a look at the maps real quick. You see, I have this big hill in front of my base. And I know that I'm going to want to defend that hill. I have pretty safe gold, and just wall off side of the map. That'll be safe. Can wall off over here in the back a little. Even back here, and then be pretty safe with those walls, and just concentrate on defending the front of my base. But it's going to be I think the execution on defending this part of my base that I'm going to mess up, so we'll take a look at that. Meanwhile, he has a really big open map here. but then that forest in the back. So this is a huge wall, but if he walls it off, he'll be safe. And then just one more wall across here. So now this is I guess pretty wallable. This hard to wall, but you put your military buildings up here, then a bit of wall here, and you can make it work. So wiring in the bore, and again, same build as I did before. I think I'll put a link to the Scouts build in the description. I know that there's a pretty good just build on AOC zone, and that Stark, another, he's one of those pro players who's really good, and he had started making a couple of tutorials on going Scouts, and they're actually really good tutorials because he gives you 4 different possibilities of how to play the Feudal Age after you do the Scouts opening in the Dark Age. But we'll see him learn his board. And if you look at the scouting, pretty good scouting so far. I found all my stuff right away. I know where to wall, moving my scout forward. And so far through the Dark Age, I think I'm doing pretty well. I think my scouting's a bit better than his. If you got his sheep there. Let's just see how the resources are going, if there's any difference yet. And yeah, even more resources right now. So definitely, I think I'm off to the better start. See, I'm doing loom and I'm going to be up faster. And this is resources. There you go, up to the Feudal Age. I'm even up 1009. It's a great time for going Scouts. I'm going to wall back here. Yeah, I guess that's fine for walling. Then later I'll wall over here. It's finally scouting me. Let's see, his map is really open, but he's probably going to go barracks here, go for some walling here. And then he had to pause for a second. Now, I've stopped moving my scout. And this is something that's probably really bad, is that I've stopped moving my scout right there just for a bit of time when I could have been scouting this side, seeing his wood line was there. And we'll see, I'll get that barracks up. And his scout is injured. I forget how that happened. Maybe I attacked it, maybe I did something else, but barracks is up. Now I'm going for the stable right here. I'll build that with 3 villagers. As this scout gets off the foundation, and there we go. You can't really harass the villagers, but now he's starting to wall off. And I have a pretty good... there you go. I'm going to run the scout away now that the other villagers are there. Yeah. And he's starting to wall off. Ooh, I can even fight his scout. He's walling here, and I'll pay attention to how he walls, because I've scouted this part of his map, but I haven't actually realized what the shape of this map looks like. And that's a really big mistake with my scouting. Again, we saw the scout was there. I know what he looks like over here, but I didn't manage to do the complete circle around his base. Like my base, I have a really nice circle, lots of information. I can see where I need to wall. His base, I really don't. All I see is that he has the barracks and stable here. And so from my point of view, I'm going to try to attack this hill over here, but I'm going to see that he has a couple spearmen there defending his walling villagers. I don't quite have the scout numbers I need to engage the spearmen right now. I need a scout there. There's a bit of idle time on the stable that I really didn't need. It would have helped out a lot. But right now, I don't know if he's walled or not down here, which is something I really do want to know. And I see the stable there and the wall. So at this point in the game, I'm thinking that he's walled and I'm not, ooh, run away from the spear. No. Okay, at this point, instead of running away, I just decide to fight it. It's not paying attention to my army there when I needed to. And he has a bit of idle time on the town center. That's something I definitely need to work on, is that economy management at the start of the Feudal Age. And this is something that I don't like here. There's nothing wrong with double layering farms, but you don't want to do it on the front side of your town center. That would have been much better here, along the back of the town center. Now, probably here would have been a much better location than here, so that I could defend them along with that gold. Or even just putting them back here along the mill where I know I was walled. And another mistake I'm making, not walling this part of the map. I'm thinking, okay, I have army here, I can defend this just with my army, but nope. There come the scouts, and I just had my army not in position, and I didn't see that. And now it's going to do a ton of damage to my wood line. And we'll see how this affects the game. So now Had a pretty good lead here, but that one mistake there, not walling here, that's really going to hurt me because now that slight difference in wood, I'm going to have my archery ranges up later than he does. And the unfortunate thing for me is my lack of scouting over here. I think that he's fully walled right now. I know this is definitely a mistake I made while playing, not scouting, thinking he's walled when... I mean, I push in with these scouts right now. I can do a lot of damage. I was a bit late going to the gold, and I did wheelbarrow when I really should have done bloodlines now. But if I had bloodlines on these scouts right now, I could add in one more spear. And even if... And then if I was walled, I'd know I'd be safe to move out with my army. Don't need to worry about defending at home. And just... Once I get bloodlines, I can take a fight with that army, kill it, and move out to the rest of his base. Because I see he really doesn't have that many farms right now. We'll see... he has only 9 farms compared to my 13. So, but again, didn't learn my lesson, didn't wall that. Scouts are going to get in. And if you look at my wood count here, I only have 1 archery range. Lose a villager there, probably could have lost that second one, but that's again just not walling this side of my map. I thought I'd be able to defend it with the scouts, but instead of going in the open area, I was on top of the hill. And it's not that being on top of the hill is bad, so much as it's that I'm leaving this area open, and he can just sneak the scouts in. Here, this gold mine, I know it's safe because I have the spearman there. He's thinking about that vill, but thinks better of it. And I might do a bit of damage, but to lose the scouts. And again, my scouts not in position. I'm not walled. That villager just... I was going to build an archery range, but didn't have the wood for it. Going for that stable, so yeah. Mostly just some very small errors. I'm forced to put a tower up here to defend against this army when it's not even that much of an army, but I just was completely out of position and wasn't able to deal with it. So this game, despite having a much better Dark Age and getting up a lot faster, see, he still isn't completely walled. If I were walled, I wouldn't need to fight this army in my base. I'd be able to move my scouts forward and do some harassment, but right now, he's done all the harassment in my base. I'm not doing bloodlines until now. If I had bloodlines a lot sooner, I could have done a lot more damage with these scouts. I'm forced to build a tower to defend against pretty much nothing, and again, just because he had those spears and I needed to fight there, I lost my scouts. And yeah, at this point, I've pretty much gotten rid of an early lead just from not completely making sure my base was safe and not keeping my army in a good location. And now he's... I don't know where he's walling. He should just wall down here. But yeah. That's the fun thing about playing games at this level, is both players are going to constantly make mistakes. And I still have a pretty good lead, but I don't know why I am not walling this here. I really needed to wall that. And so the other thing about keeping these farms here is that when you wall, you can get away by walling towards the town center. When you have a 6-tile gap like this and you only wall there, he can run his army through there and won't take much damage. And not fully walled on this side either. Don't know why I didn't finish that wall. Could have just walled there to the edge of the map. Might have ran into a wolf, but should have walled there. Now, my army's out of position. Again, this is me not having my army in position. He had his ranges up sooner than I did, which, again, he was able to do that because he didn't invest in as many farms, went to the gold, so had the archers out sooner. And I'm going to wall this here, but again, that farm is going to get in the way of a further wall, and he's just going to be able to run right through there. Had another 3 tiles of wall there, I'd be safe. Now I have to run away from my gold. That's my only gold. Not going to be able to make archers. I can click up to the castle age, but again, look at those villagers going down. Shouldn't be losing them. And he has enough spearmen there that I can't fight with my scouts. Again, I was trying to sneak in and attack this part of the wall, but I wasn't defending myself. I didn't know where his army was. I thought that, I had killed this army over here. Looked like I was kind of ahead in eco, figured I could move out, but I was not safe. I made the mistake of just not defending. So now we're both up to the castle age at pretty much the same time. Difference is I'm still not taking gold because I'm building that tower there because I can't really fight this with my scouts because he has all those spears. I need to kill the spears, and meanwhile at the same time, since I don't have gold, I can't make crossbowmen. I mean, I can't make archers as I'm going up, whereas his ranges are producing. I'm not making archers, I have 1 gold. And that's going to be the big difference because once we get to castle, he's going to have crossbowmen, I'm not. I'm hoping that this 1 tower can defend my gold, those villagers will idle there, and just that harassment that did a ton of damage to me that really unnecessary just because army wasn't in the right place, didn't bother to wall up this side of my base. And we see that, you know, definitely this is a game that I could have won. He's making some mistakes too. I get to the castle age first, but the difference is he has a large army of crossbows. I don't have the gold yet to make the cav archers that I need. If I'm able to keep these archers away, maybe I could do it. I have the stone. If I could have put up a 2nd tower on my gold right now, then I probably could have done it, but I just don't have the numbers I need. And he's going to kill that army there. No problem because he has crossbows. And I just don't have the gold to make the cav archers I need. I can wall here, but again, I needed to wall over this farm. And I'm hoping that a tower there would be enough defense, but 1 tower, not really. There go all of my villagers. And at this point, things are pretty much over. He can just do a ton of damage with those crossbows, And that's pretty much it right there. He has just a huge advantage, and now he has the cav archer army that I couldn't produce because I didn't have gold, and it is the GG. So just an example of knowing how to secure your map and where to place your army, because, well, 1, I need to finish this wall earlier here, but this is the big thing here. I didn't have my army in position to defend when he came in at the beginning. Got my ranges up a bit later than he did. Even though I would have had a better army composition with those scouts and archers since he added in those spearmen, didn't have my army in position to take a fight, didn't keep track of where his army is, just tried to poke through over here even though I didn't know how much army he had, and he was just able to punish me for that because I was trying to get through walls and he was able to just walk right in. So a few mistakes there, and gone to game 5. And this guy, IamNotChris, he's probably the best opponent that I had faced. Let me see, because he's 1767 going into this game. And yeah, we're just going to do the same thing. I know this game, I didn't have a particularly good Dark Age. This boar was really far away and uphill, so I decided to do Loom before it. So that may have slowed me down a bit. And I have some pretty decent scouting here, but I think I might not find these 2 sheep here. They're really far away and I'm going to be late finding them. That's going to hurt me a lot. And just scouting is so important that not having good scouting really hurts you. Do a nice little tip of the day mill right here. Defend those berries. Get those 2 sheep. Gotta take that boar. So yeah, I'm doing Loom right now because I was afraid of getting that boar. And should have sent that villager earlier to take the boar because this one's gonna run out. And yeah, have to take the sheep. Had a bit of idle time there. I mean, I had, what, 7 villagers there stand idle for 3 seconds? Or so, maybe longer. That's like 21 seconds of idle time. So yeah, I get the first hit on the scout, so that's good for me. It forced him to run away. But I only picked up, well, I only sent one of those sheep back to my TC, but it doesn't matter. I get it in. But see, we had some idle time on those villagers there. Had to do Loom, so that's going to put me back a bit. Also, I'm sending a villager to wall, so I'm not going to have quite as much wood as I would if I didn't do that. I'm trying to keep these villas on the sheep under the TC. And I have a pretty good berry patch, so I figure I can, maybe this is a situation you could send. You could skip one of the farms, put 6 on berries. But we see he definitely has the better Dark Age. He gets up 5 seconds ahead of me. Look at the achievements. Yeah, he's ahead on food and wood. There's like 100 more wood than I do. That's crazy. Part of it's because I went to wall with one of my wood villagers. And if we see, he hasn't committed to walling at all yet, so his economy's going to be better. And really doesn't have a great map for walling either, so he's going to have to play rather aggressive. Like the way he's positioning his barracks here, he'll be able to make some spearmen to defend his wood line, defend his gold. And I'm going to run my scout into this town center. So what I was thinking here was that if I kept my scout by the edge of the map, I wouldn't hit the TC, but this was just kind of unlucky that the berries in the mill were blocking the edge of the map, and when I tried to run around that, the TC just happened to be really close to the edge of the map here. Wasn't paying as close attention as I should have, but... So now we're both going for stables. We'll just look at those achievements again, and it comes down to that Dark Age efficiency. He has a lot more resources than I do, and I'm going to struggle to produce both villagers from the town center and scouts from the stable. And I'm just going to keep an eye on those two things and see where I end up with idle time, because we both lost scouts to the town center, which we shouldn't have. And I'm going to wall. I'll be safe after that, but again, that's more resources that I don't quite have yet. The one thing I have is this nice back gold, which I'm going to take instead of trying to take this forward gold. So in terms of the map we have, I think my map definitely is better, but just going to be the efficiency that right now, see, I don't have the food to make another villager and keep producing scouts. So yeah, it's that efficiency that really matters. I know when I first started playing on Voobly, I was like doing awful in the Dark Age and getting up at like 11 minutes when I went 22 pop scouts, just because I wasn't used to the speed difference between this and HD. It's pretty interesting how like in Ensemble in the original game, whether they intended it or not, they made multiplayer faster than single player. And I think they kind of fixed that in HD without actually noticing that they actually fixed it. So they changed the speed of the game, and HD actually is slower. And so everyone's just used to this, so when they discover that in the new user patch, they kind of fixed it but kept the speed at what everyone was used to. So far I'm still doing okay. Able to fight, push his scouts back. Probably shouldn't be chasing him there. I know he's going to have more scouts coming forward. Yeah, I should not have chased those scouts there. I'll take out that spearman there. But the big difference right now is we look at the achievements still, the economy. 300 more food. He's able to produce scouts better than I am. And just, a few small things. This is something I need to work on, and I'm still not entirely sure all the things I could have done. Idle villager there. I have a lot of wood here, but I think that's because I want to build ranges. And he brought the rest of his scouts forward. That's me not paying attention to my scouts. Didn't need to lose those scouts. They could have brought them back where I had these two spearmen to keep them alive. Yeah. So let's second big mistake, overextending with the scouts. I think that the Dark Age efficiency, that's something you always need to work on, but if you're against a better player, you can't really hurt yourself or beat yourself up too much if their Dark Age is better. But it's that decision making right there where I set my scouts forward, chasing his weak scouts when I didn't need to. The difference is he was able to keep producing scouts from his stable, whereas mine, right now, it's idle. Shouldn't be idle. And yeah, I lost like too much army to be able to push this off right now. So I think my thinking right now was I'll just try to go castle really fast because I have this safe gold and a lot of walls and try to win it there because I see that I'm really far behind, but that idea is just not going to work out. As he's going to be able to push in, and I'm not really going to be able to defend from that. And we see he even got his ranges up sooner, so he has archers out. And I don't really have the gold to keep producing archers. And I'm going to try to click up to the castle age, but he just has too big of an army. He's going to attack my stable. I'll try to fend it off with these archers, but he, huge army of scouts, lots of archers. He's doing bloodlines, and going to kill my stable, so I'm not even going to have bloodlines on my cav archers. And he can just run into the TC, and that's pretty much it. Yeah. Don't know if there's much I could have done after losing, just being so far behind and losing those initial scouts here. Because, if I had gone feudal, I think he still would have won because he had a better feudal army. But Yeah, going Castle Age definitely wasn't a good decision there. I don't know if there was a much better way to play that. Probably could have fought more in feudal and still managed to stay alive, but just kind of the efficiency in the early game lost it there. If we look at those achievements, just the economy stats, he just had a much better economy. So that early feudal age management is something I'm really going to have to work on. And yeah, just a much larger army, many more villagers. Just, overall, we see he was always slightly ahead, slightly more efficient. Just a couple of those fights early in the feudal age really changed things. All right. So anyway, that's the first set of games that I played for Road to 1800. Got up to 1748, and that fourth game definitely was something that was winnable for me that I probably should have won. So, well, we'll see where we get to next time. I'm also streaming these games on Twitch. I'll put a link to the Twitch stream below. So, hope you enjoyed that. Thank you very much, and I'll see you next time.